The state shares borders with Bhutan and Myanmar, and sadly also disputed borders with China and Tibet. Since the area, the region, is so very different from a great part of India, or what we could call mainland India, it's interesting to see what it is their literature talks about. Is it so different? Yes, because if you are talking about nature, if you are talking about the region, why? Even the experiences, why? Even the attire, the food, the language, everything is so different. So when I chose this poem, I was looking at all these and hoping that this poem can give us an insight into that part of our country. Mamang Dai is a great writer of the state, poet, novelist, journalist, etc. She was awarded the Padma Shri in 2011, the Sahitya Academy Award in 2017. Another point to her credit is that she is the first Arunachal Pradesh woman to be selected for the IAS. She lives in Itanagar, and some of her well-known poems are about mountains and rivers. Some of the poets of the region are Yeshi Dorji Tongali, Tony Koku, etc. In a region where you have 30 tribal languages and 26 or more tribes, to have a poet writing in the English language, I think, is indeed interesting. Who is a narrator of a poem? What is the persona that the poet is taking on? Reminds me of the autobiographies we used to write as school kids. Autobiography of a pen, of a flower, of whoever. So here you have the mountain as the narrator. So the poem begins, "From where I sit on the high platform, I can see the ferry lights crisscrossing the big river. I know the towns, the estuary mouth. There, beyond the last bank, where the colored rains from heaven, I can outline the chapters of the world." How old is a mountain? We do study that in geography. Well, mountains are indeed ancient, and therefore they become an enduring witness to history. That's what the poem begins with. I know everything for two reasons. One, I'm old. Two, I'm ancient. Three, I sit on a height, and from that position, I can see so much more. Is there a hint that maybe the mountain is godlike? And then the poem goes on. What happens when you are cut away from the rest of the world? And then, the other day, a young man arrived from the village. Because he could not speak, he brought a gift of fish from the land of rivers. It seems such acts are repeated. We live in territories forever ancient and new, and as we speak in changing languages. This poem seems to be going into so many areas of thought and faith and experience. Because one of the things that we are talking about today is probably not only animals and birds becoming extinct, but languages becoming extinct. And this is indeed a cause for worry. When I read that there is a language, a tribal language that is spoken today by one person or two people, what will happen when they die? This is what he's worried about. But at the same time, he is also worried about the arrival of strangers. People come searching for something. So here is a man, a young man, he came from somewhere else, but he did not speak my language. We did not have the same linguistic competence. So what did he do? He brought me a gift. He brought a gift of fish. He offered fish because he could not say what he wanted to say. I also leave my spear leaning by the tree and try to make a sign. It's like if I were to suggest to people who can't speak, people who can't hear, what do? We have what is called the sign language. So I try to make a sign. I'm an old man sipping the breeze that is forever young. In my life, I have lived many lives. My voice is sea waves and mountain peaks. It is the transfer of symbols. I am the chant syllable that orders the world, instructed with history and miracles. We have to constantly remind ourselves that this is an ancient mountain which is speaking. So much of experience, maybe the coming together of the past and the present. But my voice comes from the past. And therefore, I am the chant syllable that orders the world. And instructed by what? By history and by miracles. This particular verse, slightly longish, can be considered to be almost a soliloquy. Is he talking to himself and telling us all this? And the same I continues when he says, I am the desert and the rain, the wild bird that sits in the west, the past that recreates itself, and particles of life that clutch and cling for thousands of years. I know, he says, I know these things, as rocks know, burning the sun's embrace, about clouds and sudden rain. As I know a cloud is a cloud is a cloud. A cloud is this uncertain pulse that sits over my heart. When he talks about the desert and then brings in the rain, I'm wondering, is there something about the cleansing that he's talking about? Something that he's watched from up there? Because then he goes on to the clouds. And what do clouds bring? After all, clouds bring water. But he's an old man and he has the ability to recollect. In the end, the universe yields nothing except a dream of permanence. Peace is a falsity. A moment of rest comes after long combat. We have to remember that everything in this world is transient. Remember that beautiful poem, Mutability, by Shelley. From the east, the warrior returns with the blood of peonies. I am the child who died at the edge of the world, the distance between end and hope, the star diagram that fell from the sky, that summer that makes men weep. I am the woman lost in translation who survives with happiness to carry on. I am the breath that opens the mouth of the canyon, the sunlight on the tips of trees, there where the narrow gorge hastens the wind. I am the place where memory escapes the myth of time. I am the sleep in the mind of the mountain. Somewhere he's been speaking as a man, but he becomes a woman because he has to talk about the Homo sapiens, the human experience. He also talks about, towards the end of the poem, about magnanimity, about the importance to accept everything that comes to you. There is this constant struggle to coexist between beauty and the lack of beauty. Oh my God, I realize that I've just touched the surface meanings of this poem. A long poem with so much of experience, with so many years of the mountain's life. Yes, sitting up there, the mountain can view everything, can view time, and therefore understands that nothing is ever permanent. After my analysis of such a long poem, can I be forgiven for only listing the figures of speech? Yeah, sometimes you need to do your work too. And therefore, we do have personification, metaphor, antithesis, alliteration, repetition, irony, and much more. A longish poem of 9 stanzas, but then each stanza has its own length. I want to talk about a symbol, symbolism. You have heard of it, but I want to talk about it because here, through the poem, the entire poem, the mountain stands as a symbol of strength, of endurance, of stability, of experience, of know all, and much more. And that is why there are ever so many experiences that are listed for us. The metaphor, a recurring metaphor, if I can call it that, is about the highs and lows of life. Life is never smooth. It's not like water in a pond with no eddying at all. No, life is about the coming and going of experiences, of people, of time, and so much more. Yes, we need to read the poem again to understand all this. And remember, each reader brings his own experience to the poem. To me, poetry has no language. And that is what we mean when we talk about the universality of literature. No time, no space can contain great literature. And if I have not had the experience that the poet, the writer is talking about, I think so much the better, because I have to bring my imagination to be able to understand this better. So can we read more poems from more parts of the world? And I promise you, that has been my aim all through these episodes.